Attorney. Hello everyone, my name's Corey and this is Code by Corey. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to do some basic HTML tutorial on input or form tags. What I'm using here is Notepad++ to do the code in, and I just have a basic HTML5 setup here. I got the HTML5 doc type and then your basic HTML tags needed in order to do your website. Now the only thing I have added here is I've added a form open and close tag. So just to show you what we have, I'm going to go ahead and add some text here, save, and I'm going to come over to the browser and do a refresh, and you can see this is our form. Alright, I'm going to go back over to Notepad++. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and start with our first input tag. So in our form, we're going to go ahead and add a input with a type of text. And what this is going to do is give us a text box for inputting text. So this would be a good example if we're saying, "Hi, what is your first name?" And we added a input of text. So we're going to go ahead and do a save and head back over to our browser in Chrome, do a refresh, and you can see we've added our label, first name, and then we have a text box here. And this is where the text goes. Okay, so we're going to go back over to Notepad++, and this isn't the best styling, but just for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and just add break tags in between each of these to add an extra space. So the next tag we're going to do is a checkbox. So we're going to go ahead and do a gender question, and we're going to go ahead and add a input with a type, excuse me, we're going to do radio button for this one, of radio button. So we're going to do radio. And this one is going to be female. See if I can get my typing working today. We're going to go ahead and add a second input type equal to radio. And we're going to make this one male. So when I save and go back over to my browser and do a refresh, I now have gender, and I have the options of selecting male and female. I'm going to go back over to the Notepad++. We're going to go ahead and add another break tag for some spacing, and another input with a type equal to checkbox. And for our checkbox, we're going to just say married. And you can format your text on either side of your tags. I'm just doing this quickly for the sake of the tutorial. We're going to do a save and refresh over in our browser, and you can see we now have a checkbox for married. I'm going to go back over to Notepad++, add another break tag in for spacing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add a drop-down list. So this tag's a little bit different. You're going to start by doing, a select tag. And this one is not going to close within the open tag. We actually need to do an open and close select tag. So I like to go ahead and add both my open and close tags first and then go in between. Whatever works for you is great. That's just my preference to make sure that I don't miss any close tags. Most programs that you work out of will also have some IntelliSense and probably close it for you. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add our option and a close option. We're going to go in between here. And this is going to be our option 1. For the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and paste it again and again. And we'll change this to be option 2, option 3, and option 4. So we have our select tags and our options, which are the different items within the dropdown. We're going to do a save, go back to our browser and do a refresh. And you can see we now have a drop-down list in which you can select option 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, back over here to Notepad, and we're going to add another break in. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do something called a file input, and that's just an input tag again, but with a type equal to file. And by doing this, we are generating an input tag that allows us to capture a file from our local system, or in another case, the user's local system. So I hit save. I'm going to go back to the browser and do a refresh. And you can see I now have a choose file option. And when I click the choose file option, it's automatically going to open my file explorer and allow me to look through my local system to choose a file. This will allow you to capture files and write code against either encrypting and saving those files or whatever functionality you would like to build behind those. So those are nice. We're going to go back over to Notepad++, and I'm going to show you 2 different types of buttons. Since this is a form, we could utilize the form by doing an input type of button, which is just going to be a generic button type. And for the text on the button, you're going to add a value attribute to your tag. And this one we'll just call button. Close it. If I save and go back over to my browser, do a refresh, you'll see that we now have a button. Looks like I forgot to put a break in there, so I'm just going to add a break tag in there. All right, so what I was saying is with us using a form tag, a lot of times you'll want to use a submit button for the built-in functionality that comes with that. So we're going to actually do an input with a type equal to submit. And for this one, we'll go ahead and do our value equal to submit. And let me close that out. And when I save, it's also going to look like a button. But the difference is that when you use a submit button within a form, you can use that functionality to submit all the fields within the form, depending on the different coding structure that you're using or what language you're working with. Okay, so we're going to go back over to Notepad++, and we have now done radio buttons, checkbox, inputs, drop-down lists, text boxes, and buttons. Also, we've added an input file type, which allows you to capture a file from your local system. And that's our basic HTML tutorial for form and input tags with HTML5. Thank you for listening to this tutorial. Please leave comments below if you have ideas for other tutorials you'd like to see. And thank you.